Believe we're having these conversations 2 years down the line again. What a mess Man United are in. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope we've all had a fantastic week. Hope you've all had a good day. Hope you've all had a great Thursday evening. And I hope you're enjoying the rest of the few remaining minutes left on this Thursday evening, going into the early hours of Friday morning. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button and the retweet button. And to always remember, put the notification bell on at all times so you receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2024 on this channel. For our videos, shorts, live streams, brand new games, brand new gaming content, more previews, more match reactions, and much more brand new stuff planned for the rest of this year in 2024 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. You're all very welcome to join us on this journey and this adventure together on this channel, on the community, so please subscribe. Thank you. And with the rumours circulating around Old Trafford that Erik Ten Hag has only got 3 games left to save his job as Manchester United's manager, this is a must-win game for Manchester United on Saturday afternoon on matchday 28 of the 23-24 Premier League season at home to relegation-threatened Everton Football Club, who obviously now look like they are inching ever closer to Premier League survival yet again. Everton get themselves into a pickle and somehow get themselves out of the dangerous mess they always seem to get themselves in, finishing near the bottom 3 or even in the relegation places. But the big rumour is that with Ten Hag now only having 3 games left to save his job as United's manager, failure to win this weekend, I think, would end it. I think if Ten Hag United was to lose this weekend, I think the end is near. I think, again, 2 years down the line, we are having these difficult situations and chats that Manchester United yet again have failed another manager who had so much promise, so much potential, and so much dedication to the job he's been doing ever since he took over after the departure of Ralf Rangnick. I honestly thought Erik Ten Hag would be the highlight of Man United's future. And again, I'm not blaming the manager for this. I'm not gotten any blame on him. It's not the mess we want to be in. It's not his fault, the mess the club has got itself into yet again 2 years down the line. And again, Manchester United have failed to back a proper manager who's actually got the potential to get this club back to where it needs to be. And 2 years down the line, yet again, we are having these difficult discussions that we might be sacking another manager. And the Premier League season's been shit. There's no two ways about it. We've been shit. We were a laughing stock. We've been an embarrassment. We might not be in Europe next season. We finished bottom of the Champions League group, got knocked out the Carabao Cup. The only cup competition remaining is the FA Cup. Any chance of any silverware looks like that's going to go out the window, especially knowing you've got Liverpool 2 weeks' time after that in the FA Cup at Old Trafford on Sunday afternoon. But we have to beat Everton. We simply have to we've got to demolish them. There's no way we can afford to lose this game, because I honestly think United could sack Ten Hag after the game. I've got that feeling. I've had that vibe ever since I've heard the rumours that Man United and Ineos are looking at another manager. It doesn't surprise me, but this is Manchester United. It's a laughing stock. It's an embarrassment. The Premier League season, we all know, has been a complete joke for this football club and the standards on the floor yet again. But you can't keep repeating the cycle. We cannot be having these discussions again in 2026. We can't be sat here in 2 years' time in exactly the same position today saying that Manchester United are on the verge of sacking yet again another manager. They should be beating teams like Everton. Everton, yet again, have got away by cheating. And basically, the Premier League and the appeal they've put in, all of a sudden, everyone is now feeling sorry for Everton Football Club. Even though they broke the rules due to financial fair play, even though I still think that's a complete and utter load of bullshit, which it clearly quite is. And Everton, the points deduction they were given was fair. But all of a sudden, having that points reduction reduced to only 6 points instead of 10 has moved Everton ever closer to Premier League survival. The Premier League, the Football League, they don't want Everton in the Championship. They don't want Everton getting relegated out the Prem because they've never been relegated from the division before. They don't want to see Everton Football Club fail. And I feel sorry for every club above them. Brentford, Bournemouth, Fulham, Luton, who are below them in the bottom three, Nottingham Forest to an extent, who are also awaiting their points deduction, which either needs to happen now or at the end of the season, depending on who stays up and who goes down. But it's just at the moment, Manchester United have got to somehow get their asses into gear on Saturday and start performing as a team, because with the rumours already circulating as well that the players are fed up with the training regime, they're being pushed too hard, they're being trained too much, they're running too much. Erik ten Hag's getting them to do this and that. I'm fed up with the players. I'm absolutely fed up with every single one of them. Bunch of bottle jobs, bunch of crybabies, and a bunch of spoiled little brats who yet again are trying to get their own way and force yet again another manager out of this football club. Erik ten Hag is not to blame for the mess we are in. It's the people above him, and it's these bunch of players who are overrated, overhyped, and have basically down-tooled yet again under another manager, like every manager they have all done before them. And every time that they've down-tooled, the manager has been the one to pay the price. If you don't beat Everton, who will be getting another points deduction, hopefully that will see them get relegated about time too. I don't want to see Manchester United blaming Erik ten Hag for the mess we're in. The mess we are in is a joke. I know it's unfair. I know it's harsh. But the reality is these players have failed again. These players who think the sun shines out their ass, that they're God's gift, and they think they're absolutely phenomenal, inspirational, world-class footballers, they have down-tooled. They have given up the season. They've surrendered the Carabao Cup, which we could have defended. The Champions League group, we should have got up that group into the last 16, even though we would have got no further from that. The FA Cup is the only saving grace we've got. And potentially, you're not going to be in Europe next season, which is going to be even more of a laughingstock and a major L for the United fans and United supporters to put with from every fucking rival next season. Man United cannot afford to lose this game. If you can't be Everton, you might as well end the season now. Even though the season is already over for what it is, Everton are going to look at Man United and the vulnerability is going to be there to clear the naked eye. Man United got ripped apart on Sunday by Man City, exposed the vulnerability in defending. The midfield is completely trash every time you pick Scott McTominay. And when you've got a non-existent attack, don't expect Manchester United to produce much from the front three, because that is where the problems have been all fucking season. We don't have a team of players. There is no spirit in them. There is no teamwork. And there is no ambition to play together as a team. It has been individual FC all fucking season long. Every single game, these players have exposed themselves. They don't care about the fans' views. They don't care about the opinions. They don't care about the badge. They don't care what club they're playing for. As long as they're happy and they're getting paid fair dues. But at the end of the day, this is Manchester United Football Club. Everton have been struggling for the last 3 or 4 seasons in a row, battling relegation to the Championship, which Everton can't afford to happen, because the club could potentially go bust and go through the hoop, especially when you've got apparently a state-of-the-art stadium being built on the Liverpool Quayside docks, which is a load of bullshit. You might as well open up a fish and chip shop and give Everton a new stadium. I'm just utterly fed up with Manchester United. I've never been so fucking disappointed in all my life, because Erik ten Hag is being blamed for everything. And I don't know why people cannot see that he is not the problem at this football club. He is doing what he can with these bloody players. The injuries, yes, are no excuse. But all the players are now blaming the manager because he's pushing them too hard in training. Pep Guardiola is successful because he pushes his players at Man City. Mikel Arteta is successful at Arsenal because he pushes his players. Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool is successful because he pushes his players. At Man United, they want the softy approach. I mean, do you want me to get you a hot water bottle and a blanket to get you players warmed up for games? Because at the end of the day, you players are responsible for this season's downfall. Every fucking single one of them. Not one of them really gets away with this. It was an embarrassing result on Sunday. You were 1-0 up inside 8 minutes and still bottled it. And you could have won that game because we were the better team in the first half. We could have ripped Man City apart. The amount of chances we created and the amount of chances we had on Man City's goal and the way we were walking through Man City's back four, We could have won that game, but Man United decided to take the foot off the gas in the second half, let Man City attack them and try and break them on the counter-attack with not one single shot on goal in the second half. And now we are coming into a must-win game against Everton, who we now need to beat. If we don't beat them, you might as well sack Ten Hag. Because I know the club want to do it. I know the club are desperate to call it out. And I know the club are ready to push the button. But the club cannot really blame the manager for the mess we are in. If they would have backed him in January with players being brought in, and they would have backed him properly in the last summer's transfer window, Man United would not be in the mess that we are in now. We are a laughingstock, we're a disgrace, and we're a complete shambles. It is shambles from top to bottom of this football club, yet a fucking game. And the managers being lined up to replace Erik Ten Hag, Roberto De Zerbi, no thanks, gets smacked 4-0 by Roma in the Europa League tonight. We've then got Graham Potter. Man United don't need Graham Potter. Man United need fucking Harry Potter. And Gareth Southgate. We're looking at the Sporting Lisbon manager. We're looking at Thomas Tuchel. No, thank you. I don't want any of them anywhere near Man United because we'll be in the same mess 2 years down the fucking road again. You can't keep sacking the managers. The managers are not to blame for the mess we are in. If Van Gaal would have been back properly, he would have succeeded. If Mourinho would have been back properly, he would have succeeded. If Ten Hag would have been back properly, hopefully he will still be in a job by the end of Saturday afternoon. There's no guarantees Man United will not make a decision there and then. If they sack Erik Ten Hag, this season will turn into a downward fucking spiral. We'll go out the FA Cup, we won't qualify for Europe, and next season, and in the summer transfer window, is going to be a car crash because no one is going to want to come to the club knowing the fucking mess from top to bottom that Manchester United are in. Even Solskjaer, ex-United legend no more, who failed and played shit, passionless football, basically was ignored by the board and the owners to sign Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham. Look where we could have been if Man United would have got Haaland and Bellingham at this fucking football club. Look where we could have actually been. We would have been successful, we would have been winning trophies, and we might actually be in a title race. But because the owners have basically said no to every other player the managers wanted at the club, Man United have said no, 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 no. We're the boss here. We're taking back control. You're not pulling the heartstrings from us anymore. We are pulling the strings here. Now Ferguson's fucked off. We're taking back control. And this is why every season we've sacked our manager. This has gone wrong. I thought it would work under Mourinho. It should have worked if he was back properly, efficiently. Ten Hag is still the right manager. Yes, if we lose at the weekend, I don't think we've got any choice. But give him one more season to say at least if we can get a result Saturday, there's still a mathematical chance with 10 games left, we can somehow still finish fifth. Because fifth place would qualify Manchester United into next year's Champions League. Knowing where we are at the moment and the way the results are looking at the moment and the way we're playing in the Premier League and in the Cups, Man United are going to be lucky to stay in that, especially with the new Champions League format. Instead of 32 teams, it's going to be 36 in one big fucking massive league. United would struggle the hell out of it to even make the knockouts. And if you get knocked out that competition, you get knocked out of Europe altogether. So there would be no point United being in the Champions League next season. But the club are desperate to make it because of the money would be significantly less to be able to spend in the summer. So basically, not just this season, but next season as well, is already looking pretty shit. So Erik Ten Hag is probably going to be screwed anyway. So Erik Ten Hag, I think, should do the right thing. Get us to the end of the season, resign, and call this ownership out. Because Ineos aren't going to prove anything. So Jim Ratcliffe, so Dave Brailsford, you can get as many of these top people from your rivals' clubs as much as you want. We need to turn this Premier League season around. Everton need to go down this season. It is about time that mid-table fucking B-Tech Fleetwood Town were fucking relegated to the Championship. I'm fed up with these Everton fans and supporters who think they're fucking great and they think they're such an historic club and a historic member to the Premier League. I am fed up with saying they play great football and all the hype over certain players like Seamus Coleman, Calvert-Lewin, Onana. I'm absolutely sick to death of hearing Everton. That's all they go on about. Everton have been struggling under Sean Dyche. They've not won nearly 10 to 11 games in a row. Man United need to fucking punish the hell out of them. They need to go full throttle on the gas on Saturday. But there is no guarantees that's going to happen. If you've seen results against Fulham and FC Bournemouth at home, Man United lost both of those games. So clubs like Fulham and Bournemouth. If it happens on Saturday, the club will probably act, and they'll act pretty quick. But the problem is, going into a week without a manager and no clue what to do and how to fix the mess we're in, you ain't going to be able to bring a new manager in now. You're going to have to wait till the summer. So they'll probably bring in some pointless interim till the end of the season to get us to the Liverpool FA Cup game, which will probably get knocked out anyway. So there's going to be no point sacking Ten Hag, no matter if we win or lose this weekend. But if we don't win, these players should be blamed. Every single of those bottle jobs are to blame for the mess we're in. Ever since Fulham, it's been a fucking car crash again. 1 win in 3 games. Everton have not won in nearly 10 to 11 games. Man United on form are the better team. But at this moment in time, can you really trust these players to do a job for you now, especially what happened last weekend? I'm not sure you can. The Premier League season's already a write-off. We are going to be lucky to even make the Europa Conference League. I mean, imagine saying that we are going to be back on Thursday night football next season. Imagine the chaos that's going to be. Imagine how embarrassing that's going to feel, being back playing Thursday night football at Old Trafford. Especially knowing it's the Europa Conference League. Against some of the shit we're going to face, who will probably smash, there's going to be no point Man United competing due to the pure fact we're going to be too good for the competition. But not being in the Champions League is going to start changing some of these players' minds, thinking, is Man United really the stepping stone towards the rest of my career? If they end up in the Europa Conference League, this team's going to want to get out of the club, because even though these players are a shambles, they're not going to be wanting to play in Europa Conference League football. They're going to be wanting to be playing in Champions League Elite. It wouldn't surprise me in the summer if Real Madrid and Barcelona come calling for Garnacho, Højlund, Casemiro, Bruno, Rashford, Mainu. Like, the club's a mess, and the focus has gone from Saturday. But I think the players know we need a result, because the fans are fucked off, and the supporters are fuming. We're all fucking pissed because of how bad it's got again. But it wouldn't surprise me if they turn the result. It would not surprise me. Forget last Sunday, we'll turn it around today. It would not surprise me if that happens, because these players have always got it in them to respond to a defeat. But at home, we seem a lot weaker. Away from home, we seem a lot more stronger. I don't know why that is. I don't know why Old Trafford has not become a fortress like it was last season. All of a sudden, because the cracks in Old Trafford are appearing literally, and the stadium's falling to bits, which we all know about, I don't understand why the home form's gone completely out the window. The away form, away from home, we look all right. But at home, we look at 6 and 7s defensively, in the midfield. And as for that non-existent attack, I'm not surprised Man United are not scoring goals. Not at all. The January transfer window summed it up. That January transfer window told me a lot about where the rest of the season is going to go. When Ten Hag wanted a centre-back and he wanted a striker to improve our ranks, the club basically said no. And because they used financial fair play and sell to buy PR bullshit to get away with it, they've basically let Ten Hag get the sack. So don't pinpoint the blame on Ten Hag. Ten Hag actually has a style of play. I recognise what he's trying to do. I actually back what he's trying to do at the club. I recognise that the football we're playing is actually okay. I know it's not the best at times, but at least it's better than fucking nothing. And people are saying, well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually had a plan at Man United when he was manager. No, he fucking didn't. We park the bus every fucking game and then break the opposition on the counter-attack. That is all we did, was park the bus under Ole. And no wonder he got sacked. He ain't no legend no more. That legend history has gone. He failed as manager. Forget the 1999 Champions League winning goal when he got the winner. That's gone now. Fucking forget that. We are not back in the 90s. We are in the 2000s now, looking ahead for Manchester United. We need to stop looking backwards. And the problem is, the players that, down tools last Sunday, are all going to play again on Saturday because we've hardly got a team. We've hardly got a set of players. And as Erik ten Hag already admitted, Johnny Evans and Marcus Rashford were lucky to make the Manchester derby last weekend. And you think to yourself, what the fuck is actually going on? Because how are all these players picking up all these injuries? If they're moaning that Ten Hag is pushing them and making them run too hard, and he's trying to get the best out of them in training to produce on the pitch, and the players are then pulling out for all these injuries, how can you blame the manager? He's trying to get the best for the future, not the best for now. He's trying to get this team gelled. He's trying to gel a team together that has got no chemistry, no style, no substance, no identity. It's because these players think to themselves, you know, we're better than this. We're better than Erik ten Hag. Well, at least we're going to force him out the club again. Like, it's the players who are to blame. They don't track back. They don't defend. They don't tackle. They don't do anything on the pitch at the moment. That's because I think the players have gone back into their own shell again, back into their own selfish little ego up here. I think they've actually got a brain and they think they're bigger than the football club. I would not play any of them Saturday if I had the option. I would sell all of them. I would restart the club and rebrand it again because this Manchester United team ain't United anymore. The love for me is slowly starting to die. And I don't want to have to keep saying that. But the longer this mess goes on, the longer I'm going to think to myself, is this actually worth it? Is this club moving in the right direction? Is this club really the best of what we can get? Because Man United fans eventually and supporters like me are going to look at this situation hypothetically and they're going to think to themselves, not just for the mental health aspect of the game, but also for, you know, the best for the future. Maybe supporting Man United is not the option anymore. Maybe standing by this club is not the option. But because I love the club so much, I want them to win and be successful. I want to get back to the glory days under Sir Alex Ferguson. And I still believe Erik ten Hag is the right manager to do it. But you've got to back him fluently. You've got to get him every single player he asks for. If he asks you to get rid of 20, 25 players, you've got to sanction it. If he wants to bring 20 to 30 players in, you've got to do what the manager says. You can't just say, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Because it's going back to the Glazers again. I do not believe Sir Jim Ratcliffe's coming in for the better of the club. He's coming in for his own profit. He's coming in to work alongside the Glazers. And I think for me, even though the Premier League season's done, and I don't think we're going to be in Europe, I still want to be winning games. And yes, the football is not pretty. And the football is really shit again. And we've seen that so many times. But you need to be beating teams like Everton. You can't let Everton come to Old Trafford and dominate you. Because you let Fulham do it, you let Bournemouth do it, and you nearly let Brentford do it. And all three of those teams nearly beat us. So we need to start turning Old Trafford into a fortress again and basically start dismantling these mid-table relegation teams. Because I don't understand. We struggled at home to Luton. We narrowly just beat Forest and Brentford and Fulham. We lost to Fulham, lost to Bournemouth. I mean, the list goes on of how shit we've actually been. And the records speak to themselves. The amount of records that Erik ten Hag has broke, you can't ignore that. And I mean, I looked the other day and someone put on X on Twitter that, you know, he's broken nearly 15 to 20 different records this season. And you've got to stand up to attention and look at that and think to yourself, do you know what? Maybe there is substance here that Erik ten Hag maybe is not the right manager. But these players won the trophy last season. They won the Carabao Cup. They got into the Champions League. They finished in the top four. And, like, I can't believe we're trying to settle for fifth. Everton aren't going to come to Old Trafford fearing a fifth-place Man United team. They're going to look at this thinking, well, if Fulham can do it, then we can do it. If Man City could dismantle the way they did in the second half, maybe we can do that then. And Everton aren't just going to sit there and lie down. They have got dangerous players. That Beto looks like he's going to be a top striker for Everton. Onana's probably the best midfielder in their team by a mile. I mean, James Garner, can he come back and haunt Man United again? Should we have let him go? Again, should we have let him go? Because I know bigger teams like Newcastle and Tottenham are now looking at James Garner. So, again, it's one of those things really that Man United have made so many mistakes that mistakes on Saturday is going to cost this manager his job. I don't want to see Erik ten Hag go here. because it will upset me, because it's like we were meant to be rebuilding, and we can't have another. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. No, I disagree. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe is saying it's going to take 2 to 3 years and the fans have got to be patient, I'm sorry, but no, I am not being patient anymore. When Arteta went to Arsenal, instant success. When Pep went there, instant success. Jurgen Klopp, instant success at Liverpool. So you're telling me, as a minority stakeholder in the club, you're telling the fans to be patient and wait for another 3 or 4 years. Fans aren't going to wait, because you are going to find yourself in 2026 sacking yet another manager because you've not backed him efficiently or backed him enough to actually improve this pile of dog shit that we've got in this team. If the rumours are true, they are going to want to get rid of about 21 players, then I'm sorry, 22 to 23 need to come in. And that has to start. Saturday is a make or break game for some of these players' careers. You lose at home on Saturday, I think the fans are going to lose it. And we've already lost it. We're already fed up. But I wouldn't pick the team we picked on Sunday. I think Scott McTominay has to go. I think the back four, it speaks for itself how defensively shit we are. On a low and a high cross, we can't defend. We can't clear out of our own penalty area. We let Man City players go unmarked and let them have a free run into our penalty area. We can't defend a low cross, can't defend a high cross. We keep playing out the back all the time. I mean, we did that under Louis van Gaal. We kept playing the ball backwards and we kept playing out of the back. And it's like, a team like Man United, you need to be full on attack. All I'm seeing us as doing is pass back, and pass back. That is all I'm seeing every fucking game. And it is boring the shit out of me. Man United are attacking side. You've got players in that team that can put on world-class attacks when they get the ball. But the problem is, we ain't got the players. Rashford ain't good enough anymore. Garnacho is still quite young. Probably not ready for first-team football. You've got no striker because Højlund is injured. You've got Kobe Mainoo trying to look after a vulnerable midfield in an inconsistent Bruno Fernandes. Ever since he's had that captain's armband, he's turned into a complete mess of his recognisable self when we first brought him from Sporting Lisbon. Casemiro, I completely agree. His legs look like they've gone. Absolutely. That midfield was getting run over on last Sunday. Rodri, De Bruyne were having a field day, robbing the ball after a slow aging Casemiro. Our defence of Varane, Lindelof and Dalot and Johnny Evans. Does that fill you with confidence? Does that really fill you with confidence? No, it doesn't. Because how many times have we seen that back four concede goals? How many times has that back four been caught out or exposed for a high line, and they've kept the opposition players in an onside position when they make the right run at the right time? We play such a high line, and the problem is when you play such a high line, you expose yourselves at the back, and players get through our back four so fucking easily. And that is why we're conceding our goals. The back four doesn't pay attention. They play a high line. They let the opposition players slip through in an onside position. They're through one-on-one on goal, and they're more likely to score than not to score. So this is why Onana's letting in so many goals as he is at the moment. I mean, I'm not fully blaming Andre Onana, by the way. I am not blaming him. I don't think, for me, he's the right goalkeeper. But is he at fault for half the goals that have been conceded? Yes, to an extent. But also, that back four cannot defend a piece of paper. They can't defend anything. They probably couldn't defend a letter going through someone's post box. They probably couldn't defend shit on a marble floor. Like, honestly, the defence is shambles. Like, there's so much hype over Dalot when he's absolutely crap defensively. He shouldn't be playing for Man United. He ain't good enough. Varane, an ageing World Cup winner who's only got 1 year left on his contract, he's still playing for the club currently, but we're letting him go for free in the summer. So how the fuck does this make any sense? Johnny Evans should have never, ever been brought back to the club on a free. He is not good enough. We got rid of him because he was crap. And you've brought him back thinking it's going to work. He's going to be an ideal assessor for the younger defenders coming through the system. Yeah, half our defenders that are coming through the system aren't any good anyway, and you're letting them go out on loan to try and somehow get a career at United. Look, that PR statement went very, very well, didn't it? So, again, not good enough. You're playing Lindelof at left back, which is a joke. I mean, there's rumours that we are looking at left backs in the summer. You don't just need to look at one, you need to look at two, because Luke Shaw needs to be shown the door, and so does Malacia. And the rumours circulating around Malacia's career that United career could be over because the club and Ineos are not happy with Malacia's injury record. I mean, did anyone actually look at this, by the way? Did anyone at Manchester United's recruitment look at the injury record for Malacia? Because he's not kicked a ball all fucking season. He's been out since pre-season of last year. He's not kicked a ball for us this season. Did anyone at United's recruitment dare to have a look at the injury record? Did anyone dare to have a look about where his injuries are, what injuries he gets? Because quite clearly he didn't, and he's out injured for the rest of the season. Luke Shaw, out injured for 3 months with the broken leg he had. The hamstring he's got is now fucked because of the broken leg. Out for 3 months. So you need to look at 2 left backs in the summer. You need to bring 2 new in because that's what it's going to take. So, again, someone put today, letting Reguilon go back to Tottenham and ending the loan deal and letting him go then on loan to Brentford. What a fucking mistake that was. And it's paid the price, unfortunately, because we've got no left back. You're playing fucking Victor Lindelof there, who ain't any good anyway. He can't defend against a high, pacey winger. Foden was ripping into him. He was having a field day on the right wing. So are you surprised Lindelof's vulnerable to the back four? No, I'm not. No wonder Onana is conceding goals that he's letting in because the back four just get exposed by the higher tempo players on the wings of the opposition team. I'm not surprised. But again, Man United's recruitment's a load of dog shit. I mean, look at the subs last weekend. Amrabat, Anthony. I mean, really, away at the Etihad, we're bringing on Amrabat and Anthony. And I honestly thought they would work out. But clearly they haven't. And clearly have both been really, really bad signings. So again, Amrabat's going to get sent back at the end of the season to Fiorentina. And then Anthony probably is going to have to be sold at a massive loss. And that is not going to go down well. So again, the right wing situation has fucked itself up. And at the moment, you're basically down to an inconsistent Marcus Rashford. And I know everyone is hyping up his goal so much. And apparently people saying, oh, it's the best ever goal in the Manchester Derby history. Oh my God, did anyone hear those words? It was the best ever goal in Manchester Derby history. Can someone wake me up from the coma I must be in? Because at the end of the day, no, it ain't. Marcus Rashford was subbed off for 60 because apparently he was carrying a knock. But a day after, the rumours that was true was bullshit. So clearly it was tactical because Rashford fucking fell off a cliff again after the goal. One goal, falls off a cliff. Goes back to being his inconsistent self. I'm sorry, United are better without him. And, with the right wing situation, you haven't really got a right wing because you're either playing Rashford there, you're either playing Garnacho there, you either put Anthony there, or you put Fernandes there, who isn't a fucking right winger, he's a midfielder, or you're basically playing a false nine and bringing Scott McTominay back into the fold. Bringing Scott McTominay was like when your nephew or your brother or your sister asks you for the right Easter egg at Easter, and if you don't get them it, and you get them a different Easter egg to the one they ask for, they're going to lose their shit. And what happens? This. I want to be excited for Saturday's game. I want to be excited, but at the moment, I am nervous as hell trying to get behind the team now. I don't want to get behind them. I've never said this. I've never felt so not supporting them. Because I'm sick to death of this every fucking 2 years. Sack the manager, repeat the cycle. Sack the manager, repeat the cycle. If you sack Ten Hag, he's going to go to another club and he's going to succeed. He would probably win the league at Man City if he had the players Man City had now. He would win titles. He would win trophies. But at Manchester United, it's jobs for the boys, mates rates FC. I just, It's fuck at the moment. It is really starting to frustrate the fucking hell out of me, and I'm fed up with it. I do not want to keep supporting a club that is just going to repeat the cycle every 2 years, because the mental health it's causing fans and supporters of Manchester United Football Club, especially with fans like me, who've not just got autism but anxiety, but also suffer with depression. The crap you're causing them due to your poor acknowledgement on the pitch and off the pitch, no wonder the fan base gets sucked in and treated like shit. And for me, I've got a lot of respect for Mark Goldbridge. I absolutely love Mark, but the hate he gets is unfucking believable. The hate the United stand get and the hate he gets is unbelievable. People do not like it he's honest. People don't like it he's truthful, and people don't like his channel. I mean, people need to wake up. For me, at the moment, there are only two channels that are actually waking up to Man United's problems. The only ones that care are the United Stand and this one. The only two channels that open and be honest about how shit it is at Man United. And people do not like honesty. They don't like the truth. They don't like people being brutal. And when that all happens, all shit kicks off and the fan goes out the window. I've got a lot of respect for Mark Goldbridge, and I can't stand the hate he gets. I love the United stand. I love Mark, and he absolutely speaks the truth. And people need to get off his back, because all he's doing at the end of the day is speaking the truth. Man United are a complete mess. If you sack Ten Hag, you're making a wrong decision, and I completely agree with him. If he would have been back properly in the summer and backed in January, Man United would have been in a lot stronger position this season to what it was for the whole season. And, he's got a right to a view. He's got a right to an opinion. Everybody's got a right to an opinion. You might not agree with it. You might disagree with it. You might have a debate about it. But don't give him hate. Don't put him through shit. And don't give the United stand shit either, because at the end of the day, he's speaking the truth. And if people don't like it, I would honestly stop supporting United, because you're not a United fan. Because at the end of the day, this club's in a mess. The Premier League season is basically make or break Saturday. If you can't beat relegation threatened Everton, it says about a lot about the standards. The players are fed up. The players are moaning. We're being pushed too hard. We're being run too hard on the pitch, off the pitch and training. We're being pushed too hard. But at the end of the day, if Pep Guardiola was United manager, he would not be having this. He would not be having it from these players. He would get them the fuck out the club. He would be brutal and get rid of the deadwood. And that is exactly what he did at City. If players were not happy, he got rid of them. He got rid of them in a good way. Look at the success Man City are. They are successful for a fucking reason. They win a treble for a reason. It's because of Pep, the recruitment, and the money they've got. And yes, they've still got these 115 charges. But if you put Pep in a Man United team, he would be getting rid of these spoiled little babies who think they're bigger than the club. I want to win this game. If you don't beat Everton, then of course a decision's got to be made. But if you sack Ten Hag, this is the worst decision you're going to make. Because who else really is going to lead United back to the top? Thomas Tuchel, don't go anywhere near him. He got sacked by Bayern Munich for a reason. If you go for De Zerbi at Brighton, look what Roma did to them. Look what Luton did to them. If you go for Graham Potter, look what he did to Chelsea. He went in there, complete lack of recruitment, a complete lack of what players he wanted and what he didn't want. And when he got sacked, look where Chelsea ended up that season. They then brought their ex-legend, Frank Lampard, back in as an interim manager to get Chelsea through to the end of the season. If you go for them, that's a joke. We're also looking at the Brentford manager, and we're also looking at Gareth Southgate. If United do that, we are a joke of a club. We are an absolute joke. And I want, United to win. I want us to win on Saturday. We've got to. If the team is what it is on Saturday, which it was on last Sunday, God help us. Because I don't think Rashford should be in this team. I don't think Scott McTominay should be playing for this club. I don't think that back four should be anywhere near a United shirt. I think Højlund, we need him back. We need Shaw back. We need Martinez back. We need Højlund back. But the problem is, look at the recruitment. Look at these last two transfer winners and look at the mess Ten Hag's in. And I feel sorry for the guy. I absolutely feel sorry for him. He's having to pick players based on merit and price tag, and that gets on my tits. We are having to pick players because of market value and prices that we played for certain players. That is why players like Maguire in the team, Casemiro in the team, Rashford's value, McTominay's value, they are trying to absolutely rinse opposition clubs to buy these bunch of bottle jobs. If I was any Premier League club in the Premier League, don't go anywhere near us to buy players because you are going to get exposed on how shit these players actually are. They don't represent the club. They don't represent the shirt. They are a B-Tech club trying to operate on a B-Tech basis. We have to win against Everton. If Sean Dyche comes Saturday and works a fucking masterclass on Saturday, then I'm sorry, you've really got to give him the manager of the year. Because if Everton come to Old Trafford and batter us like Fulham and Bournemouth did, United are in big trouble because you've got Newcastle catching you, West Ham are catching you, Brighton might catch you. If Man United finish outside of the European spots or finish at 8th or 9th, that is sackable. You might have to sack him, and I would stand by the decision. But give Ten Hag one more season and go and get him the players he wants and see if he can mould this team properly. Because if you had Harry Kane and Osman and Gakpo and Felix and Frimpong and Darwin Núñez, look at the players United were wanting, and did they get any of them? All those 6 I mentioned, they didn't get one of them. Because Man United kept using financial fair play and sell to buy, which again, both excuses are complete bullshit, complete myths. Sacking him ain't the answer, but sacking some of the players is exactly. These players at the moment deserve to be sacked. Every single one of them deserves to be sacked. I am fully Ten Hag in. If United sack Ten Hag, I'm going to lose it. Because if you go and get De Zerbi or Potter or Southgate, then or Thomas Frank, do you honestly think those 4 would be good enough to lead this club back to the top? They would have to come in and assess all these players. I want him kept. I want him kept. I want him gone. I want him gone. I want him and him brought in. And then we can mould a team. De Zerbi would get sacked within the 6-7 months. Potter wouldn't last this season. Thomas Tuchel plays B-Tech football at Bayern Munich, who can't even win the Bundesliga this season. They're not even going to win a trophy. They ain't going to get past the quarterfinals of the Champions League. That is as far as Bayern Munich are going to get. So at the moment, United have no options ready for the manager's job. So if you sack Ten Hag, be my guest, but don't come crying to me when that decision is going to backfire. This guy's the right manager. Yeah, I'm sick of it too. I'm sick of the hate I get on my channel because I want Ten Hag to stay. But do you know what? Ignore the haters, ignore the doubters. People like that ain't worth it in life. They've got no clue what they're talking about. They've got no clue what football is, and they've got no clear understanding what the fuck's going on at Manchester United. I get it too. And you know what? I let it go over my shoulder because people ain't worth the time and energy. I've got a lot of respect for United channels, and I've got respect for your channel, The United Way, and I've also got respect for other United channels, United Stand, and this one, obviously, I respect with all my community I've built. But you know what? Don't let anyone put you down because you have a view and opinion. Because if that view and opinion is, respected, then you'll get respected back. But don't let people get to you. It ain't worth it. I've got a lot of respect, but don't ignore them because they ain't worth it. They're just jealous. They get just their own little, little silly, things. It's just, it's PR. It's PR for them at the end of the day, and they're trying to separate the fan base. And the problem is, if failure to win Saturday, and we go with the team which went at the Etihad for the Manchester Derby last Sunday, I can't see that United team getting 3 points because I don't want Rashford in the team. I don't want Garnacho starting, really. I want to see Ahmad given a chance on the right wing. I don't want to be playing a false nine with Scott McTominay back in the team because that was a fucking failure on Sunday. That was sackable enough. And I don't want that back four. But the problem is, the injuries we've got are no excuse. Hold my hands up. The injuries aren't an excuse. United have still got enough quality to fucking win a football game. But at the moment, because the team is so not together and the morale and the confidence and the positivity is on the floor, can you really trust these players to get your result? I'm not 100% sure. I accept people wanting Ten Hag to go, but when they are asked what would it solve, they all of a sudden go quiet. Exactly. because even they don't know what to do. Because if they were United manager, things have been a lot different. If I was Man United's manager, I'd be going into the boardroom demanding a certain amount of money to be spent in January, a certain amount of money being spent in the summer. Otherwise, I ain't signing the contract and I ain't going to the club as manager. And I think Ten Hag needs to call it out. I think Ten Hag needs to go into that boardroom and demand from Ineos and the Glazers, I need this, this, and this, and I need in excess of 500 to 600 million. And people tell me, well, you can't really do that. Of course you can. Chelsea have spent over £1 billion in 2 transfer windows, and you're telling me Man United can't do that. Man United have just had Sir Jim Ratcliffe come in, and he's put in 300 million investment into the club, and you're telling me, oh, money isn't there to be spent in the summer. And apparently we've only got 40 million to spend in the summer. If that's true, next season's also a write-off. So a lot of these results now are depending on United's future. In not just in the transfer window, but also for next season. Because these players are going to come back in the summer and probably are going to be knackered from the Euros. So the season's going to be a slow start anyway. And if you don't beat Everton, I think the shit and the hate people are going to get on Saturday is going to be unbelievable. And these players aren't going to like it when they get shit. They don't like it when they get a hate. But at the end of the day, these players deserve what they get, I'm afraid. If they're playing shit, you can't stand by them. You have to get rid. Judge Ten Hag when he has fully fit team, not half a team. Exactly. Exactly. The amount of football we've been playing is a joke. We should not be playing all this football, especially again in 2 weeks' time, which I really do not get. We are having international breaks for 2 warm-up friendlies for England, Brazil and Belgium. What is the point? We're not going to win anyway. We're going to get destroyed by Brazil and dominated by Belgium. And we're having 2 pointless internationals after the FA Cup games. It's a joke. Absolute joke. It's a mockery. Absolute joke. But again, the focus is on Saturday. United failure to win. I can't imagine what the consequences are going to be. I can't imagine what's going to happen. But can I really trust these players to turn the tide, change their spots? No. I'm falling out of love with the club. My love for Manchester United is slowly and surely dying away. I used to love this club, but at the moment, it's just shit. It really, really is. And hit the like button if you like the live stream, by the way, and please subscribe if you're new. At the moment, I just don't trust this club to be able to get a process properly. I don't. I'm sorry. At the moment, the love's dying because of how bad I feel, how shit it is being a United fan again. 1 win in 3 games. And if you come up against Everton with no wins in either 10 or 11 games, you can't lose to Everton. If you lose to Everton, you might as well get rid. But all I'm going to say is don't expect a shock. I would expect a shock result. It wouldn't surprise me if the game ends in a draw. It wouldn't surprise me if we end with a defeat. Because look at Fulham and Bournemouth this season at Old Trafford. Both teams battered the hell out of that Man United team. And we got comprehensively beaten and played off the pitch. Played off the park, in fact. So all I'm going to say is, let's see what happens. The United team will probably, unfortunately, be, Onana, Dalot, Varane, Evans, Lindelof. I will go back to 4-3-3 instead of playing 4 midfielders and a midfielder on the right wing, because that ain't working. Casemiro, Mainu, Fernandes. I think you're going to have no option. It's going to be Rashford, Garnacho, and maybe Ahmad. Maybe it's now time for Ahmad to unleash himself against Everton on Saturday. Obviously, it's a 12:30 afternoon home kickoff on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to go, especially the way Everton are playing, I'm going to go 3 or 4-0. I think we can score goals. That Everton team are very, very vulnerable. And look what West Ham did to them in their last game. Absolutely ripped them apart at Goodison. And hopefully we can do it at Old Trafford on Saturday afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hit the like button and the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video. Hit the tweet button. Hit the retweet button. Remember to always remember the notification bell. Put the bell on all times to receive dedicated brand new content live right throughout the rest of this year in 2024. The United way has gone for a 2-0 United prediction. Let's see what happens. And, let's see what happens. And, share the stream on your outlets. Please mention to people about the channel and point them sway in the channel to get them be part of the future. And, join me for the final score and the final whistle after the Saturday's game. If it ends in United win, great. But if this ends either in a draw or a defeat, this is not going to sit pretty. And I think Ten Hag could be in big, big trouble. But all I can say is United need to win. Come on, United. We need to win this weekend. Otherwise, for me, Erik Ten Hag is going to be sacked. And I think it's on the right. It's on the rise. It's on the horizon. And I think United are very, very close to pushing the red button and sacking Erik Ten Hag. Maybe we are going to be on 7 managers in 11 years. Think about that. 7 managers in 11 years. See you on the next one.